Hi guys, this is Joy Ani, scrapping in my own private Idaho, and today I am doing this layout for the air show, and I am using the sketch which was designed by my wonderful upline Dana, and this is her sketch. And I did so with a sketch. You kind of pick out what do you think is the featured piece? And I think the featured piece is right here where she has used a tag. We used to call these title toppers. And so that is kind of what I was trying to go for. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this sketch. I am using Take Flight, which is from Stampin' Up. It is retired. And actually this strip right here is from last year's packet. I think it was called Harvest something. I'm not for sure. So, but first, because it's Title Tuesday, I want to talk about titles, and I'm going to show you how I came up with this title. And it is a Cricut font. And a lot of times people will ask me, well, how do you find fonts? And so I tried to do a video on how to do fonts, but I'm not good at using my screen. So I'm going to show you some pictures of how I found the font that I used for this layout. So I think I will. So what you do is you go to, so this is where I got my idea from. So this is the layout. It's by Nancy Fan, and I loved her title. And I wanted that same look, and I wanted to borrow some of those ideas for doing it for the air show. But this is for actually for the Air Force. So of course I'm going to have to change my letters, but I liked the look of this font. So what you can do is you can go ahead and click on that link, and it takes you automatically to Cricut. And on Cricut, then it will show you the name of it, who made it, which is Nancy Fan. I use a lot of her stuff. And then you just scroll down, you press that right there, and it will tell you. And so the font that they've used is the DN Next Stencil Heavy. So a lot of times, because there are literally hundreds of fonts, and it's hard to decide which one you want to use. So I will go, if I like a title, I go and see the person, I click on that, and then I find out what it is and I write it down. So I really do like the stencil. And I have a couple other tips about using titles. So this title actually was a little bit of, there was some work involved in that one. So it is a 2-layer. Of course, when I typed the, I always add an outline to my things when I do them. So when I cut it out, so this is the letter. I was going to put Magic Valley. So originally I was going to put because her title was split, and I tried Air Show, but that left too much blank over here, and I didn't really like that. And I knew I was going to use wider pictures than what they called for, so I just decided to put the title on this page. So I had some extra letters, and let me show you how I did this. So one of the things that Tiffany was talking to me this week about was when you are putting your Cricut things together, sometimes they move all over and it drives you a little bit nutso. So once you get them cut out, you might want to just leave them on your mat. So this one, because there are lots of layers on this one, if I were just to grab these pieces, I may or may not know where to put them at. So what I will do sometimes, I will use the negative space. So I'm using my negative space on here. So let's pretend this is my paper. And so I use my negative space, and then I will go ahead and I will put my pieces on here, because a lot of times when you're cutting out things from Cricut, you will get so many different teeny tiny pieces. And see, so this is how, and pretend this is just glue, and so this is how I put mine together, because you can see that there's space in between these. And otherwise I would have had a really hard time putting this together if I didn't save my negative space. So that's just a couple tricks when you are putting your Cricut pieces together, because like I said, a lot of times there'll be lots of little tiny pieces. So let's go ahead and get the layout. I kind of prepped the layout, and I'll tell you what I used. And of course, my pictures, a sketch is a jumping off place. And so what I did with this one, I followed, this side is pretty close to what she had, but my pictures are running, her pictures are 4x6, and they're this way. But I wanted mine to go crossways because I print my own pictures. I printed this one on my beautiful Epson 3850 that I got at Costco. Um, but when I tried to print it, I would lose too much if I tried to print it the other way. So I needed to print it horizontal. So I had to change the sketch a little. So let's go ahead and talk about the base. So she gives us our instructions here, and this is by Dana Swadling, who's my upline's upline. So she had the little, I believe hers have little arrows there, but my title is so big, and because I'm centering my pictures, I'm going to go ahead and center my title as well. So let's talk about the pieces that I cut. So I cut, this was 5.5, this is a quarter, and this is actually autumn paper, and this is also autumn paper. And this is taken from the sky. And so I like the colors. I think the reason this was my first paper pack, besides the bees that I bought from Stampin' Up when I slid over from Close to My Heart. And it is one of my favorite. I think it's because it has a lot of autumn colors in it. So this is 5.5. This is 6. I always try to, I was glad that she kind of that 6.25. I kind of fudged around a little bit and made this a little bit wider because I wanted this strip to be 6. That way I'm getting both from one sheet. If I go 1/4 over, then of course I have to go, and she used it as a base. I didn't use mine as a base, so I'll tell you how I cheated. So this, on her sketch, she had a 12x12, so this would have been her 12x12 paper. I like this paper. It is retired. You can't get it anymore. So, this is actually my second pack that I'm using. So I wanted to go ahead and piece it. So this paper right here is, when you buy the cheap albums, they have that very thin sheet of paper. So if I'm going to piece, if it's all going to be covered, you could also use, if you had ugly paper that you didn't know what to do with, it's white on the back. You could always just piece it. So that's what I've done to save my paper. So that way I got both of these sheets. Instead of using 2 sheets, I'm using 1. So this sheet is 6 inches. This is a quarter, this is a quarter, and this is 5.5. So that's how I did it, which is a little bit different than Dana did. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead, and this sheet, this one is a, I cut mine because what I did was I made my letters, and I went on, and when the title that I was copying was 1 3/4. So my letters are 1 3/4. I will be sharing this title with you if you have an air show that you'd like. So it's 1 1/3, and then I put an outline on it. Really simple to make. So I'm playing around with the idea. I don't know if I want to dovetail this. I could make it go this way, but I like how my pictures are centered. I'm trying to not show you children's faces that don't belong to me. I think it's going to be centered. I think that's what I decided. So these are going to go from 3 to 6. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this down. It is down 1/2 inch. I believe that she probably had a little bit, hers might be a little bit farther down for her title. but that's what I could fit on with mine. So you're always going to adjust. Isn't it funny? I didn't bring the tape runner over here. Ha. Oh dear. You're always going to adjust the sketch so that it fits the needs of your sketch, because we all have different pictures that we're trying to tell the story of, and so of course mine is going to be different than yours. Okay, so to make this in the middle, if I'm centering that, which I am, so air show is 7 letters, so that means I'm going to put my fourth one right at 6. And I loved how this one it just was so much fun. I love this font. I've seen it used in other things. Oops. Yes, that's right. So it's halfway to 6.5. I'm going to put this right here. And also that's another nice thing about what sometimes when you outline it, then it will have it welded together a little bit. You used to be able to move things, because I always like my things welded, so I didn't have to lose my stuff. Oh, that is not right, folks. Okay, so I'm going to move this over. The benefit of having adhesive that's readjustable. Okay, so I'm going to put air show. So this was at the air show, and my favorite picture. So my daughter-in-laws, they all are at Twin. So Twin had this huge air show, Twin Falls, Idaho, and so they all walked, and I guess it was pretty crowded. So her father-in-law, this was his seat right up here. I'm going to take this picture. So they're all at the air show, and there's pictures of them at the air show. This is him back at his house. So he put a chair up on his pigeon loft and watched the air show from there. I thought that was pretty great. So he's not in it, but it was a great picture. I thought, well, that tells the whole story. So unless you're a scrapbooker, you probably, well, my son-in-law did take a picture of it, but most people wouldn't put it in their albums. But I think that's one of the best pictures of the day, was when he was sitting up on that coop. Okay, so I'm going to put this one this way. I'm not going to, and I'll show you, because I put it on the, see, her sketches, you can see that this is wider. So she actually has 8 inches going across. I only have like 5.5, because when I print my pictures, they come out about 5.5 wide on my ups, and so I'm going to have to center mine, and I'm centering mine at 1 3, which means I needed to put something over on the side. And I'm hoping my son-in-law, he's very good at saving things, so I'm hoping I'm going to put this one up at the top, because that's all of them, and you can see the planes right there. He's good at saving things, and I'm hoping that he saves some of the tickets. So I'm going to show you how. So what I do with mine, and I'm not going to put this, because if I flip this over, then you're going to see the pictures of the kids, and they've asked me not to do that, so I'm not going to do that. So the tags give the same look, because it'd be too bare over here. So I'm going to put this here, and let me show you how I make this pocket. So because if I can put the tags on here, I want the tags to go on the back somewhere, or I could even use this as journaling. So this is how I do my tags. So on the back, I do use a little bit of foam tape. I only put foam tape on my pictures if I'm going to form a pocket. So I'm forming a pocket on this side. So when this is down here like this, they're going to be able to slide this in and out. But I don't want it to get lost all the way down here. So what I do is I put foam tape. This keeps it from falling out this way, and this one keeps it from sliding down this way. So when I make my things for my tags, I make a little pocket like this, so that it fits in there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one down. The other one I'm just going to lightly tuck, because like I said, I don't want to, I just want to place it right there. And then you could have hidden journaling. You can put pictures on the back, maybe pictures that you that are embarrassing you don't want everybody else to see. And when I do foam tape like this, I'm not going to take the tape off. I just need that's kind of like plugging the hole or whatever. I will just I'll put take the tape off this way. So when you're doing this, you don't have to put you don't have to take all the tape off. I usually the one that's holding that in, I don't place that, because once you do, if you put down foam tape wrong, you're going to have to love it, because so I'm going up about a half an inch from the bottom, and I'm going to go three inches, and I'm just going to go that right there. And I also did a little bit here because I'm sliding this in, and so that gives me the world right there. I'm going to slide that under. And I've got a little airplane, but I think it flew away. So I have a little airplane right here that I'm going to put here. Now I'll pop dot that up so it looks like, oh, here it is. It will be pop dotted up. So it's going to fly up here. I could put a little cloud. I tend to add things after I film, because let me move that up a little bit. You can't see that down there. Because it's hard for me to, sometimes I have to putz around and look at things, and a lot of times taking a picture and walking away if I'm not for sure I like something somewhere, that is super helpful. So that's this page. So that one goes right there. I'm going to put my tags. My tags aren't naked. I used my crocodile, remember those, and I used a string. So these are the large ones. I'm still using up, I bought a crocodile, I think I bought it from Costco, and I'm still using up those. I know you guys know which ones I'm talking about, and that will be the same thing. We'll have that here. I ran out of room, and so there's that. Okay, and then we are done with this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this side. So this is my question. On this side, I know I need something over here. Let me just move this out of the way, and we'll work on this side, because this is the side I am unsure of, because and that usually is with scrapbooking. It tends to be that one side is kind of fancy and the other side not so much. So I want to put it 1 inch in and a half an inch down, and these are 3 1/4. The colors that I'm using today to go with what I have is Night of Navy and Copper Clay. Copper Clay retired last year, but it is a fantastic color. And I thought about even doing like a little arrow down here. I'm not for sure. So when you come on and you look at the picture that I've taken, that's like the final cut. It's like, oh, I finally made up my mind, because I know this is kind of a little bit plain, and I've got an idea. So you can tell me what you think. So it needs something over here. I thought about, but it's kind of narrow, and I did add more pictures than her. I tend to add quite a few pictures, because if you are doing a layout, and I could put journaling down here, I could put another globe down here, but this is what I thought. Does this look crazy? So this is just a circle, and I used my oops, I gotta move it down some. I thought about just putting this down here and using my rule of thumb to put it here. Another option would be if I put this color underneath and just tore it. It needs something of interest on this side. So I'm going with, should I leave the round circles or should I just do a tearing technique? I'm leaning towards a tearing technique. So anyway, because we have to add something over here needs to be going on here. Oh, I have to put my funny picture back with the Papa on the roof, with Papa on the roof of the pigeons. Okay, so this is, oops, let's cover my little person up. So this is the 2-page layout. So I hope you like it. And so if you don't have the perfect pictures for a layout, but you love the sketch, go ahead and use a sketch it and just change the sizes or do whatever you need to do and to make it go. I know this needs, maybe if I let something decorative, I know there's something needs to happen on this page. I'm looking to see what she has on hers. She has a cluster right here. I could do a cluster, but I don't know what I'd do a cluster of. Maybe a globe again. We'll think of something. And then I thought, see how she does a tail in here? I think that would be really cute down here. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll put two little dovetails out of the stripe. I probably won't do it out of the blue. So, well, you'll just have to we'll wait and see what that looks like. So, whatever the picture of it is when you come on, that's what I finally done. Anyway, I hope you had a great day, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you give me a thumbs up, and talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.